Fans want Triple H fired because WWE feels lifeless again, and the frustration has been boiling for months. The product that was supposed to be better than ever under his leadership has turned into a slow, stale, confusing mess that fans can barely sit through anymore. The guy who once represented change, passion, and wrestling purity has somehow become the very thing he claimed to replace. What's made it worse is that Triple H keeps promising a long-term vision that never shows up. Every week feels like the same recycled storylines, predictable finishes, and forced characters who don't fit the roles they're being pushed into. Fans were patient when he took full control of creative, but now they feel lied to. The hope that he'd fix everything Vince McMahon ruined has been crushed, and it's no surprise people are chanting for him to be fired. The anger isn't just about bad booking, it's about the disappointment of seeing someone who was supposed to be the wrestling guy turn into another corporate puppet. He's doing what fans hated about the Vince era, playing it safe, protecting his favorites, and ignoring what the audience clearly wants. When the same people get pushed despite no momentum and fan favorites are ignored or humiliated, it's obvious something is broken. The problem is Triple H doesn't seem to care what the fans are saying anymore. Every crowd reaction is brushed off, every criticism is dismissed as part of the plan, but there is no plan. Everything feels directionless. You can't keep hyping the new era when it looks exactly like the old one. That's why the hashtag Fire Triple H movement even exists. Fans have lost faith in the idea that he can save WWE. The creative issues are everywhere. Storylines drag on without any payoff, rivalries lose meaning, and champions feel less important than ever. The shows are full of filler, pointless segments, and matches that end in the same way week after week. It's not even that the wrestlers are bad, it's that they're trapped in scripts that make them look clueless. The roster is stacked with talent, but most of them are completely wasted. People like Chad Gable, Ricochet, and even big names like Drew McIntyre are written like afterthoughts. When you look at how many wrestlers have been misused under Triple H's watch, you start to realize the problem isn't just creative direction, it's leadership. He's lost touch with the audience. The fans used to trust that if Triple H was in charge, at least the wrestling side would make sense. That's not true anymore. Fans have also noticed how Triple H treats nostalgia. He brings back old stars for cheap pops, then buries the new ones in the process. It's the same problem that plagued WWE for years under Vince, only now it's worse because the person doing it was once supposed to be different. People like Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, and John Cena still get treated like gods while newer stars are shoved aside. The entire focus of the company feels stuck in the past. Fans wanted him to build the future, not relive the Attitude Era, but Triple H keeps depending on legends to carry shows that are supposed to showcase the next generation. The more he does it, the more people realize he's just recycling the same playbook fans begged WWE to move on from. That's one of the biggest reasons why fans want him gone. Another reason for the outrage is the inconsistency in how he books stars. Some wrestlers get special treatment no matter how bad their performances are, while others can't catch a break even if they're red hot with the crowd. Look at how certain wrestlers get protected at all costs, while others are constantly embarrassed. It feels political again, and fans hate that. WWE was supposed to be merit-based under Triple H, where talent and crowd connection mattered, but instead it feels like a closed circle of favorites who can do no wrong. That kind of favoritism kills morale, and fans see it play out on screen every week. You can sense when the performers don't believe in the product anymore, and lately, that's exactly how it feels. Triple H also doesn't seem to handle criticism well. When fans express disappointment online, the company's social media team acts defensive instead of addressing the real problems. It's like they think fans should just accept whatever they're given because it's part of a bigger story. That excuse doesn't work anymore. Fans are smarter now. They see through lazy writing, forced promos, and desperate booking decisions that go nowhere. The audience wants storytelling that makes sense, characters that evolve naturally, and matches that mean something. Instead, they get random turns, feuds that start without reason, and main events that end in cheap disqualifications. The worst part is that it's all happening under the guy who was supposed to be the savior of creative storytelling. There's also a growing frustration with how Triple H manages the roster behind the scenes. Reports of unhappy wrestlers are starting to pile up again, and that's never a good sign. Wrestlers who once praised him for his leadership in NXT now sound disillusioned on the main roster. They're stuck in roles that don't suit them, or they're simply not booked at all. When talented performers like R-Truth, Carlito, or even Karrion Kross vanish without explanation, it makes fans question what's really going on. The lack of transparency just fuels more anger. WWE acts like everything's fine, but the product clearly says otherwise. The crowd reactions at live shows are weaker, the online engagement is down, and fan enthusiasm is dying. That's not the result of a master plan, that's the result of creative failure. Triple H's biggest problem is that he's not delivering on the promise that made fans believe in him in the first place. He built his reputation through NXT, where the wrestling felt pure and character development mattered. People thought that energy would carry over to the main roster, but it didn't. The main shows are still scripted to death, the promos sound robotic, and the wrestlers are rarely allowed to feel real. Fans don't connect with the product anymore because it feels too controlled. Triple H is trying to please sponsors and executives instead of focusing on what makes wrestling special: emotion, unpredictability, and connection. The fans aren't asking for perfection, direction, they're asking for effort. They're not seeing it. That's why the chants have started. The decline in match quality hasn't gone unnoticed either. Even when the wrestling itself is solid, it's hard to care when the stories are meaningless. Triple H books matches that feel like filler, not climaxes. Big rivalries don't have satisfying conclusions, and when titles change hands, it feels more like a business decision than a dramatic payoff. The emotional side of wrestling has been completely drained. Fans can tell when a storyline has heart, and lately, none of them do. It's as if Triple H is writing shows just to fill time, rather than to create moments that matter. That's what's making fans angry. They know WWE has the talent to produce magic, but the people in charge keep wasting it. The Fire Triple H chants represent years of built-up frustration. Fans supported him when things were rough because they genuinely believed he understood them. Now they feel betrayed. It's not just that the shows are bad, it's that he's ignored the fans who stood by him. He's acting like he's above criticism, like his vision can't be questioned. That arrogance is exactly what drove people away from WWE in the first place. Fans want someone who listens, who adapts, who admits when something isn't working. Instead, they get silence while the product keeps declining. You can't talk about building the future when your creative direction feels like it's stuck in the past. Another layer to this backlash is how Triple H handles returns and debuts. Every time a superstar comes back, it's hyped up like a major event, only to be forgotten within weeks. Fans were excited when he brought back names from NXT or released wrestlers from the old regime, but now those same wrestlers are barely featured. It feels like Triple H is collecting talent just to make headlines rather than having an actual plan for them. The returns lose meaning when none of them lead anywhere. Fans remember the excitement of someone like Johnny Gargano or Tommaso Ciampa coming back, but what have they done since? Nothing memorable. That's bad storytelling, and it's his responsibility. Even the production style hasn't improved. WWE under Triple H still feels overly polished, with the same camera cuts, the same forced commentary, and the same repetitive structure every week. It doesn't feel organic. Fans crave that unpredictable energy wrestling used to have, but Triple H's version of WWE feels too safe. It's like he's more interested in keeping sponsors happy than in creating something exciting. Every episode feels designed by a committee instead of a passionate creative mind. That kills the spirit of wrestling, and fans can feel it. The more sanitized the show gets, the louder the fire hymn talk becomes. Fans also can't ignore how the main event scene has become repetitive. The same names keep cycling through the top spots while others are left to rot in the mid-card. It's the same mistake that made people stop watching years ago. The rise of Roman Reigns was exciting at first, but now it's become a crutch. Triple H keeps relying on the same handful of people to carry the show while fresh talent gets sidelined. You can't grow new stars if you never take risks, and he refuses to take any. The fans are tired of being told to trust the process when the process never changes. Then there's the hypocrisy. Triple H loves to talk about giving wrestlers creative freedom, yet everything still feels micromanaged. Promos are scripted, characters are watered down, and creativity is stifled. Wrestlers sound like they're reading lines instead of speaking from the heart. That's not what fans signed up for when he took over. They wanted authenticity, but what they got is the same corporate tone that's been ruining WWE for years. The fact that it's happening under him makes it worse because fans expected better. The anger also extends to how he's handling pay-per-views. These shows used to be must-see events, but lately they feel like overhyped episodes of Raw. Nothing feels special anymore. Matches are thrown together without purpose. Stipulations don't mean anything, and major storylines often end with no real payoff. Fans walk away feeling empty instead of satisfied. When you combine that with overpriced tickets and repetitive booking, it's no wonder they're furious. Triple H's creative direction has also made WWE feel disconnected from the wrestling world around it. He talks about being open to working with other promotions, but nothing meaningful ever happens. AEW, NJPW, TNA, all are growing in their own ways while WWE feels stuck. The sense of innovation that once defined him in NXT has completely vanished. WWE feels corporate again, like a brand instead of a wrestling company. Fans are tired of being treated like customers instead of passionate supporters. The worst part is how Triple H handles momentum. Every time a wrestler gets hot, he somehow kills their push by overthinking the story. Someone finally connects with the crowd, and instead of running with it, the creative team slows them down or buries them under pointless feuds. It's like they're scared of success. Fans see how people like LA Knight, Gunther, or even Sami Zayn have lost their spark because of bad creative decisions. That's not just frustrating, it's infuriating. People invest emotionally in these characters only to watch them be wasted. At this point, fans don't believe Triple H has the guts to make bold choices anymore. He's become too comfortable, too safe, and too corporate. WWE's product feels like it's designed for algorithms, not audiences. There's no edge, no rebellion, no passion. The people chanting "Fire Triple H" aren't just angry, they're heartbroken. They believed in him. They thought he'd bring back what made wrestling magical, but all he's brought back is the same old disappointment with a different face in charge. He was supposed to be the one who understood wrestling, the one who listened to the fans, the one who would fix the broken system. Instead, he's become the system. That's why people want him fired, not out of hate, but out of disappointment. They've seen what he's capable of and can't believe how far he's fallen. WWE fans don't want another corporate face pretending to care. They want someone who actually does, and until that happens, the "Fire Triple H" chants will only get louder.